I'm gonna need you to stop telling me my team is weak to Kyurem. Okay? Kyurem is the most constricting Pokemon in the team builder. On paper, it beats everything. Alright? So you're gonna have to stop telling me that my team is weak to Kyurem. Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. In today's video, I don't know if you can tell by the title or how I started this video, we're going to be talking about Kyurem. And we're going to be talking about how, yes, I know my team is weak to Kyurem, and so is yours. So, I cut myself while shaving. I don't even know how I got that low. I'm looking at this builder real quick, but I want to talk about Kyurem because I get this comment a lot. It doesn't actually upset me. It's just funny to me because, guys, have you seen Kyurem? Do you know what Kyurem does? Of course I'm going to be weak to Kyurem. Now I'm too small. Yo, I look like one of those. Oh, I'm sorry. So let's talk a little bit about Kyurem. This is why I don't get on. I don't record myself with face cam because I get too distracted, man, by my face. That's it. I didn't mean it that way. But guys, Kyurem is a menace. Ever since they gave it freeze dry, it's this generation. It's insane. And the scariest set on paper is obviously Specs, and Specs runs Ice Beam, Freeze Dry. You got Earth Power, of course, because you hit Heatran, Strong versus Toxapex 2, Melmetal, and then they dropped Draco. And I didn't say they dropped the Draco; they dropped Draco, so that way they can run Focus Blast. And this set has no switch-ins besides Shedinja in the entire game. There might be something else that can take something, but they even run Modest now too, which is crazy. I've even seen Modest Nidoking, which is also wild, but you want to be able to deal with Slowking. But they started running Modest. Now, I'm going to go through the entire OU list and show you one by one why there are no Kyurem switch-ins. And then I'll talk about why it's scary on paper, but in practice, it's not as scary because I've gotten, tons of comments that say, hey, your team gets 6-0'd. And I'm sorry, I'm looking like both ways. Your team gets 6-0'd by Kyurem, and then I fight a Kyurem or two Kyurems at live, and I win both games. Yes, Kyurem gets 4 kills, but I won both games. But Specs is the other one, or one of them, and obviously the other is Subroost. And then if you're me and Blunder playing on the ladder, you fight Scarf. That's about it, right? That's usually the Kyurem sets. Some random Dragonets if you want to. This runs heavy duty boots sometimes. Sometimes I see Metronome as well. But obviously Bisharp, I don't even gotta talk about this. Bisharp is 2-hit by Ice Beam. It gets smacked by Earth Power. Same thing with Focus Blast if you manage to hit. Now Blissey. Blissey is probably the closest thing in OU that you can get to a switch-in to Kyurem. And it's circumstantial too. So as you can see, I have Modest Specs right here. And if you type Blissey, standard Blissey, max HP, max defense, boots, Focus Blast has a 64% chance to 2-hit KO. Obviously, counting Focus Blast accuracy, it's a little bit different than that. But this is probably the closest you can get to a switch into Blissey because it's not 2-hit KO'd by Freeze Dry, Ice Beam, or Earth Power like every other Pokemon in the OU tier. This is it. So unless you want me to run Blissey on every team, plus Regenerate them on, by the way, you can't just have Blissey. As you can see right here, there's a 64.5% chance to 2-hit KO. Also, Blissey is limited to Rock, so it's never going to, limited to Boots. That's the only reason why I use Blissey over Chansey. I guess you could also have Chansey, but Chansey has its own set of problems, and I can talk about that as I talk about a few other Pokemon that are similar. Special Walls. But Blissey is obviously the special sponge, so it's not only going to be switching to Kyurem, but it's going to be switching to Pokemon like Dragapult, and then Dragapult's very easy. You go for a U-turn as Blissey comes in. You just got 13% chip. That's a guaranteed 2-hit KO with Focus Blast. You know what I'm saying? So it's not hard to wear down. It has to fear knockoff. It has to constantly heal. Also, people are kind of they're teleport happy. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? That they are teleport happy? So they just click teleport with Blissey. I know I'm one of them too. I'll be doing that. I do that with my regen mons, but the regen mons are a little bit different because the regen mons, they have regen. So Blissey does not have regen. People just think because I have boots it can come in. But let Blissey take a little bit of chip, Kyurem Focus Blast you once. It's over. And again, a lot of people are running Modest now too. Which is interesting. I find it very interesting that we're on more of a power type of metagame just because Pokemon are so fat. Right? Boots kind of changed that. Before, in previous metagames, I set up my spikes and I could wear down a threat and then beat it, right? How did Ash Greninja beat Chansey? It spiked every single time Gren came in. You went for U-turn with whatever came out, or you chipped away at it until you could inevitably knock it out with 2 Hydros or anything like that, right? So that was just like that. So Blissey is the closest thing to a switch in an OU, and even that Mon gets 2 KO'd, and it's easily play around. Clefable, obviously Clefable's 2 KO by Ice Beam. Spadef Corviknight, this is something that somebody else told me to try. I'm like, bro, do you know how much Corviknight takes from a Specs Ice Beam? Let's go ahead and go 2v2, 2v2. Let's make that thing calm, careful, doesn't really matter. Ice Beam does, it is a 94% chance to 2 KO. Now I'm going to put some leftovers on it. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that your defogger, that Spadef, has leftovers. But did you hear what I said? I said your defogger, that is specially defensive, has leftovers. What does a defogger do? A defogger comes in on hazards and defogs them. So if Stealth Rock are up, Kyurem is 2 KO. Not only that, but it has to, Corviknight, Kyurem, easily 2 KO. Corviknight 2 KO. But not only that, it has to worry about being frozen by 2 of the moves, which are Ice Beam and Freeze Dry. And it actually can only switch in on 1 move, like, safely, which is Earth Power, right? Besides, like I said, they dropped Draco because the downsides of Draco Meteor, there's like 2 Pokemon Draco Meteor hits in the OU tier. I think one of them is Volcarona, and the other one is, there's something else. Was there anything else? No, it's just Volcarona. That's like literally it. Like, that's the main reason to have Draco Meteor. Volcarona. There's too many fairies in the tier to want to have it. You'd rather have Focus Blast because you nuke T-Tar and Blissey and things like that. So it's basically just Volcarona. And even though Volk doesn't like coming on Ice Beam, it takes like 40. We'll go through that calc in a bit. But even Special Defensive Corviknight doesn't come in and take this. And Special Defensive Corviknight is always getting knocked off first off because that's still your Rillaboom switching. That's still going to be your Melmetal switching, even if it's Spadef. Like, it's going to be a Dragapult switching on Shadow Ball, so it will be worn down repeatedly. Anyway, it gets overwhelmed by physical attackers like Garchomp, which is something Corviknight can be done anyway. So that's another one. Dragapult, obviously, Dragapult is a check. All right? It cannot come in on any of its attacks. Oh, Focus Blast. And it can knock it out with Draco, provided it connects or Dragon Darts, depending on the set. But it does not come in on Ice Beam. Dragapult is considered a check. Dragonite, same thing. And also, Dragonite doesn't even run Dragon moves, so it can't even deal with Kyurem unless you're random choice ban. So that's another thing. Obviously, Excadrill, same thing. Ice Beam nukes this thing. Earth Power nukes this thing. Ferrothorn, another special defensive wall in the OU tier. How much does Ferrothorn take from Specs, you might ask? That's a good question. Welcome to this video. Ice Beam doing the same damn role that it does to Corviknight. Just a little bit less. But the only difference is that Ferrothorn actually gets hit by spikes. So that's a big thing, because Ferrothorn always runs leftovers or Rocky Helmet. Those are the 2. You don't usually run your heavy-duty boots on Ferrothorn. You either want the longevity or you want to punish U-turn. You want to do this and that. And obviously, look how much Focus Blast does. Look how much Draco does, man. Like, this is Spadef Ferrothorn, 252, 176. So, just to show you, obviously, unless they're running Gyro Ball, they're not doing much back. But even Body Press isn't doing that much. But yeah, that's not a good switch in. Obviously, Garchomp gets nuked. Hawlucha gets nuked. Heatran, even special defensive, gets smoked by Earth Power. Now, again, I'm going through the entire list because I'm duh. Your ground type is weak to Earth. I know. I'm just trying to prove a point. All right. Now Heatran plus a regenerator Pokemon plus Blissey, probably some of the closest you can get to dealing with Kyurem, and that's only if it's choice specs. If it's sub roost, it can technically stall out Blissey, but it actually doesn't unless it's running Metronome. Because what you do is you go Blissey and then you pivot into your regenerator Pokemon or Corviknight. And you pivot into Heatran, and then you go back and forth. And you just basically bring out Blissey and keep teleporting until Kyurem's ran out of PP, so it can't do the rest versus your team. That's like the whole thing that you do versus that, right? But obviously Heatran is, at best, a check as a Steel type because it resists the Ice Beam. I don't even got to talk about Hippo, Hydreigon, Kartana. They're all going to get nuked, right? Obviously, opposing Kyurem gets 2 KO'd or smacked as well. Landorus gets smacked. Magnezone, obviously, that's another mon that doesn't even appreciate Specs Ice Beam. Because all the Steel types are just really... Let me go to the Iron Defense set, because that's probably the closest. Yeah, like Specs Ice Beam, look at that. 73% chance to 2 KO. That's after... Well, this one's on an air balloon. It's probably like 64, right? 16, excuse me, 16. Oof, my bad. At best, it could take that. But even then, like, look how much Freeze Dry is doing, the weaker move, right? So, Magnezone, Mana Buzz, I don't got to talk about that. Melmetal AV is a check at best. Otherwise, I'm always getting nuked too. Yeah, have y'all seen how much the Protect Melmetal takes from Focus Blast? OU Protect? It takes 109% minimum. That's damn near max special defense Melmetal. Alright? And even if you ran max HP, max special defense, careful nature, you still have a chance to go down to Focus Blast after rocks. How much Ice Beam doing, man? All right. I don't got to talk about Nidoking, Pelipper, Regieleki, Rillaboom, Skarm. Oh yeah, Bulky Waters used to be switch-ins, right? But then you got Freeze Dry. Slowking's pretty decent. This is typically the regenerator mon that you want with a Blissey and a Heatran is probably going to be Slowking if you want the best chance of beating the Kyurem, right? Because you tank Freeze Dry. Now, Galarian Slowking is another pretty decent switch-in. I will admit that. While there is a little bit of the issue, and I'll explain it real quick. But basically, regular Slowking has the luxury of running heavy duty boots, and the reason it does this is because it can regenerator and teleport and do all that. However, Galarian Slowking, if it wants to be special defensive, because there are sets that run like Nasty Plot and 3 attacks and Slack Off, whatever. But the only one that can take hits from Kyurem is Assault Vest, and even then, like standard Assault Vest, this is a very petty video, like petty filled video. Like even standard Assault Vest, let's get rid of Draco here. Let's put Earth Power. Is 2-hit KO with hazards. So if Stealth Rock are up, it's 2-hit KO. Now even if you run max, I put 353. Like even that, it's barely taking it back, and it's not really doing much back. It's just checking it at best. And again, I mentioned heavy duty boots because this one has to run Assault Vest to do this. If you're running Assault Vest, you're easily worn down by hazards. And this is a very hazard-filled metagame. That's why everybody runs boots. And then you have everybody else here, which is basically literally everybody here gets smacked by Ice Beam or Freeze Dry, right? You got the 2 waters of Freeze Dry. Tyranitar gets nuked by Focus Blast. It does take Ice Beams. Leftover Tyranitar does take Ice Beams, but it gets nuked by Focus Blast, which is why they run that. Obviously, your Sheep gets nuked by anything. Volcarona probably one of the better ice switches if you have Roost on your bulky your bulky Volcarona. You can max HP. Like max HP actually takes this okay. It's not going to be 3-hit KO because it runs speed and has Quiver Dance and whatnot. But even like I said, a Specs Critical Meteor from this boy is doing 90 to 106, and I mean Volk is a whole nother problem if we want to talk about problems on paper. Then Zapdos and Zero are other Pokemon that can't switch in, right? So I just went through the entire OU tier list, and I showed you every single Pokemon that could beat Kyurem on the switch-in. And that's none of them. None of them can beat Kyurem when it comes on paper. Kyurem beats everything on paper. Now, obviously, in play, it's a different story. I mentioned Pokemon that were faster. Dragapult or Shifu. These are Pokemon that don't... Zeraora. They're mons that don't switch into it, but once they get in, Kyurem can't do anything. It will die. It'll die to Draco. It'll die to Dragon Darts. It'll die to close combat. Or a boosted close combat in Zeraora's case. Right? Or even if it gets knocked off, it doesn't knock out Zeraora after, then knock off into close combat can deal with Kyurem too. So on paper, it is the most restricting Pokemon because you're like, damn, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to use versus this Pokemon? It comes out, it clicks Ice Beam, it clicks Earth Power, it clicks Focus Blast, clicks sometimes Draco, which is kind of bad in my opinion right now. I mean, I love Draco. To be honest, I ain't gonna show y'all, but my new the Drop of Draco remaster hoodie came in. It's higher quality. Well, look at that. Slow it down. It's higher quality than the last one. I'm not going to show it off yet. It's probably coming out this week though. I'm just waiting for the shirts to come in so I know how good they are. It's higher quality than the last one, so the hoodie's going to be a little bit more expensive than the last. Well, I mean, it's like damn 5-6 years ago, right? So it's going to be more expensive anyway, inflation. But it's a remastered version. It's nice. But yeah, so like on paper, again, it is incredibly tough to deal with because your basic steel types, your basic bulky waters, they can't deal with it like they used to before. They gave it too much. And then on top of the Specs set, which is annoying, obviously Sub Roost is pretty decent too. I actually don't like Sub Roost as much. I think Specs is a lot stronger. But the big thing about Sub Roost that actually is one of Specs' weaknesses is Sub Roost can run heavy duty boots. So it can switch in repeatedly on like weaker hits or on a double. Whereas, and this is another one of Choice Specs Kyurem's flaws, it's weak to Stealth Rock. Now, it doesn't matter too much when you have like base 90 defenses and base 125 HP because weaker Pokemon are not taking you down. That's true. But this starts to get worn down, right? Like if I wanted to, I could stay in with Slowking on one turn on a Freeze Dry. A crit won't kill me, I believe, on Freeze Dry either. Maybe crit will kill, actually. Let's see. No, I'm pretty sure I've lived a crit as well. Where's my Freeze Dry, bro? Oh, shoot, no. Crit will kill for Modest. Maybe it was Timid that I lived it. But yeah, so Slowking can come in and go for a Scald. Scald only doing 12 to 14, but you get that burn, rack it up with Stealth Rock, and you're starting to wear it down. And then I can switch into Blissey from there. So it's very important that you understand that it's not that I'm using teams that are 6-0 by Kyurem. It's that Kyurem 6-0s on paper every single team. But in practice, it's different. I don't think I've ever been 6-0 by Kyurem in a video. I don't. I don't think I've been 6-0 by Kyurem in a battle too. I've definitely lost, but I put up a fight. And it wasn't the Kyurem that I lost. I lost the other Pokemon. No, to say that Kyurem didn't dent my team, obviously I'd be lying. But I just wanted to show that, you know, this Pokemon, while it's incredible and it's incredibly threatening and it's so frustrating to build around, it's not broken to the point, like it's not like it's omni boosting, right? Or like Magirna, like after it gets a kill, it gets another, it gets another, it gets a boost, it gets a boost, it gets a boost, or doing all that stuff. It's not unbeatable. The other day, actually on Patreon, I used a team with a counter Blissey again. And you know what? Actually, I'll show the team that I used. Where was it? Oh, little spoiler for the MV video. Here it is. Now look at this team on paper. Decidueye. I just replaced Azov with Decidueye. Blissey with Wish. Tapu Fini. Zapdos, Galarian, Skarmory, and Swampert. What is the common theme of this team? It loses to Freeze Dry. Loses to Ice Beam. I fought 2 or 3 Kyurems in that video. And the sub Roost one gave me problems because I was actually still able to break its sub, and I didn't have teleport, I didn't have a regen mon, but I was able to beat it just by stalling it out. I literally stalled it out. I would Wish and pass the Skarmory, and Skarmory would take a lot from Freeze Dry. Then I Whirlwind it out. I Roost up later. I get up Spikes. I do this again and again. I Body Press to break the sub, right? I would Wish and pass the Tapu Fini. Freeze Dry would do 70%. It gets all the way back up to full Blissey. So like even a team like this that does quote-unquote get 6-0'd by Kyurem was still able to stall out Kyurem. That was a lot harder. Again, if I had a regen mon, it'd be completely different. It would be a lot easier. But I was still able to stall out Sub Roost, Earth Power, Freeze Dry, right? So this Pokemon has outs. It is just extremely restricting. Again, even if your team is Melmetal, Heatran, Blissey, Galarian Slowking, and you think you could deal with Kyurem, you're just losing the Landers at that point anyway. Like if you want to lose the Lander, that's fine. If you want to put 6 and you want to put Corviknight as well, and like even them, like there's still a shot at losing to this Pokemon. It's just so strong. I think that slower defensive ways are obviously harder. That's the best way to check it. Defensively, I mean, obviously, you know, most defensive Pokemon are slow. Most. But that's also the easiest way to lose to like things like Freeze and things like that too. So you don't necessarily always need a Kyurem switching as long as you can get in and revenge kill it after. And I've showed that time and time again on my videos. I think. Maybe I haven't. But I feel like I've showed that time and time again. But stop telling me my teams are weak to Kyurem. Now the main reason I made this video is because how do I go face? Is this real? Is because it's the last day and Codeaim's still 30% off. So if y'all trying to pick up some G Fuel and you support your boy, feel free to. Obviously they just restocked the strawberry lemonade. I keep saying that, but like last time it went out, I got really mad. I got all the hydration formula, like all of them right here. Like all of them. Some of them are out of stock though. But yeah, if y'all want to go ahead and pick them up, G Fuel is a caffeinated energy drink, so obviously be aware of what you're drinking. But the hydration line has, as you can see right there, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine. So this line, not only does it taste good, because I think the strawberry, focus on me, thank you. Not only does the strawberry lemonade taste good, in my opinion, it says 30 servings. Well, for 30% off, first off. It says 30 servings, but this gives me like close to 70 servings because I do a half or a fourth scoop every single time. I think you kind of have to because strawberry lemonade is very, 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 very strong of a flavor. But like when it's like diluted, it tastes amazing in my opinion. You get so much bang for your buck. Like I get this one's still going. I have like another one that's been here for a while too. So if y'all want to pick it up, again, use code AIM, 30% off. That link is down below. Supporting me, and also it's a pretty good drink. Again, I like the hydration line more, and there's other stuff too. I actually got the. Can y'all see that back there? All right, my room a little messy, but well, that's Dan's thing. Oh, you can't actually see it. They sent me the fridge. They sent me the mini fridge. Oh, my room's so messy. I don't want to show that. Whatever. They sent me the mini fridge that we got because we made it to semis of the last time. We didn't get it to finals, unfortunately. But yeah, let me know if you guys like videos like this where I break down certain things. I want to talk about Life Orb next. I got a really, really, really good comment about Life Orb. And I thought it'd be so cool to talk about like the fall of life form, you know, because like how many mods do you see using life form now, where before you used to see them all the time? But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. The next, well, if you missed it, I have a series with Envy. I'm just gonna talk at the end of this. This is basically done. Stop telling me I'm weak to Kyurem. Don't make me do one on Volcarona. I will do one on Volcarona. All right. Let me know if you want to see one on Volcarona, but yeah, stop telling me I'm weak to Kyurem. And again, use code AIM. Today's the last day that you can get 30% off. Drop a Draco merch coming, remastered coming very soon. Again, to explain what that is, basically my original Drop a Draco merch dropped 5 or 6 years ago. It was either 2015, 2016. I don't even remember. I'll get the date right. And I love that one so much. Mine does not fit me at all. I got a little bit bigger from that time. Getting strong. Well, I am stronger than there, that's for sure. But so I wanted to remaster it. So it's still similar to the original, but it's definitely different. You can see the difference, and that's coming hopefully this week. So stay tuned for that. And it depends on if I like the way the shirts come out. If not, you're gonna have to wait another 2 weeks. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. This is coming out Monday, so at 11 p.m. tonight, I'm gonna be on twitch.tv/pokeaim. I'll be streaming with Snark and Shofu. All right, that's it. I'll see y'all. Peace.